The waves crashed far below the cliffs of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park as the sun rose above the Pacific. Golden rays touched the vast black lava fields, where the earth seemed to breathe, smoke curling upward from hidden vents. For tourists, it was beauty. For locals, it was power. But for Leilani Kīlauea, it was home. Leilani, a 19-year-old guide from the small town of Volcano, had grown up hearing her grandmother say, "The mountains are alive, and they remember." She never understood what that meant until the day she felt the mountains speak. One morning, while leading a group of tourists and a volcanologist named Professor Daniel Harris along the Crater Rim Trail, the ground trembled beneath them. The professor called it seismic activity, but Leilani whispered, "She's waking." That evening, her grandmother, Kupuna Moana, told her that the goddess Pele was restless and that something deep within the earth had been disturbed. Moana gave her a pendant, a black, tear-shaped stone called the Tear of Pele, and told her to go to a forbidden cave beneath the old lava fields near Puu Crater. The next morning, Leilani set out across the steaming black plains. She found the cave hidden behind vines and entered carefully. Inside, glowing red symbols pulsed like a heartbeat. When she touched one, the entire cave lit up with visions, ancient Hawaiians dancing in firelight, rivers of lava flowing through forests, and a woman made of flame standing atop the mountain. A voice echoed inside her head. "Child of the islands, the balance is breaking. My fire is being stolen." Shocked, Leilani returned home and told Daniel what she had seen. He confessed that a company called Volcor Industries had been drilling deep into the park under the guise of geothermal research. "They're tapping into the volcano's energy," he said. "But something feels wrong." Leilani realized that Pele's warning was real. Volcor was stealing the heart of the mountain. Together, she and Daniel set out toward the restricted zone. The air grew hotter, smoke rising from cracks in the ground. When they reached the drilling site, they saw huge machines boring into the earth. The sound was terrifying, like the mountain groaning in pain. As they watched, the ground shook violently, and a fissure opened beneath them. Steam and molten light burst out. Leilani caught a glimpse of something glowing deep within the heart of the volcano itself. That night, as ash rained down, Leilani and Daniel took shelter in a small cave. The volcano roared outside like a living creature. "What did you see back there?" Daniel asked. Leilani held the Tear of Pele tightly. "The heart of the mountain. She's dying because of them." He looked at her pendant, glowing softly, and said, "Then how do we stop it?" Leilani whispered. "She told me we must return the tear to the fire." The next evening, under a blood-red sky, they returned to the site. The workers had fled, leaving the machines running. Leilani climbed over the fence, ignoring the searing heat. Daniel shouted for her to stop, but she kept going until she stood over the open shaft where the earth glowed red. She raised the tear high and said, "Forgive them, Mother of Fire," then dropped it into the molten heart below. The ground exploded in light red, gold, and white shooting into the heavens. The machines melted, and a massive eruption tore through the field. Daniel pulled Leilani to safety as the volcano roared. But instead of destroying everything, the lava flowed calmly toward the sea, hardening into new land. When the eruption ended, the island was quiet again. A few days later, Daniel and Leilani stood on a ridge overlooking the fresh lava fields. Steam rose gently from the cooling rock, and green shoots of fern had already begun to appear. "Nature always rebuilds," Daniel said softly. "Pele gives and takes," Leilani replied. "She destroyed, but she also created." Daniel smiled. "Maybe your legends are more real than I thought." Leilani looked toward the crater, and for a brief moment, she saw a woman of fire standing within the smoke, watching them. Her grandmother's words echoed again. "The mountains are alive, and they remember." Weeks passed. Tourists returned. The park reopened, and the island continued to breathe. Daniel went back to his university with data that defied science, ending his report with a single sentence. "Some forces of nature cannot be measured, only respected." Leilani resumed her tours, sharing stories of Pele with visitors who listened in wonder. But sometimes, when she walked alone near the crater at night, she felt a warm wind brush against her cheek, like a thank you whispered from the heart of the earth. On a full moon night, she looked across the lava plains and saw a faint red glow deep within the ground, the tear of Pele, shining once again in the fire beneath the sky. Moral: respect nature, for it is alive. The earth remembers kindness and destruction alike.